St. Ignatius, one of the great masters of the spiritual life, talks about how if we're doing something good in the spiritual life, if we're on the right track, we're going to be plagued by the devil, by temptation, by darkness, by desolation. We're going to have ups and downs in our spiritual life, or at least in our feelings with God. The question is, do we have those ups and downs? Because many people don't. They just live kind of just same old, same old. Every day they have their routine, maybe they say some prayers, but they're not really getting closer to God. There's no depth in their spiritual life. And because of that, they live a kind of a mundane life. Every day is the same. Today we hear about a storm. And if we are in that category of people that go through storms, that we have ups and downs, and we have struggles, and we are in battle, in a spiritual battle, then we're going to have to know how to deal with these storms. Because every time a storm comes along, I can't just do what the disciples do. What do? They panic. They panic. And they say, "Lord, save us, we are perishing." Now, if you're in a boat and there's a violent storm and there's waves coming up over the boat, you're probably going to be a little scared too. I would be. But think about those words they say, "Lord, save us, we are perishing." We're done. That's it. How many times do we feel like that in our spiritual life, where we feel like the sky is falling? Everything that we think about seems to be negative. All those negative thoughts coming in, that's spiritual warfare. Let's get used to it. But again, the Lord is inviting us not to panic. He wants to sleep. Jesus wants to sleep in your boat. And we try to wake him up and say, "Jesus, don't you know I'm perishing? Help me here. Where are you?" He wants to sleep. Let's not wake him up. If he's allowing a storm in our life, he also wants us to trust. He also believes in us, that we can handle the storm without panicking. Now, will we have feelings of anxiety? Will we be nervous or scared? Maybe. But what do we do in those moments? Do we panic or do we trust in God? Again, Jesus wants to sleep in your boat, and maybe he wants you to sleep too. To trust in him, to not lose hope, to not see everything in the lens of disaster, but to trust that the Lord has good things for us, that storms are just part of life, that storms help us to grow. You know, if we never had a storm, if we never had difficulties in our life, where would our faith be? Where would our growth be? We wouldn't have any. We wouldn't grow. We need those things to grow in our lives so that we can get closer to God, so that we can imitate the man of sorrows, Jesus Christ, who suffered in this world. So let us remember him in those moments. Let us think of him and ask for the grace to trust and to not be afraid.